Hey, we're back at it. I told you we would be, and we're here in Tampa, and I said we're coming. We're actually in Ybor. Remember Ybor from our youth, from the 20s and 30s, when we were over here partying our asses off? Well, now there's a lot of breweries over here, and this is one of them, Zydeco. A really cool place. We're going to go in and check it out. We're going to talk to the owners and see what it's all about. Let's go in and find out. Come on with me. Hi, I'm Sean, aka Wizard. Beer has always been a passion for me. From collecting cans as a kid, tasting the great flavors of craft beer as I got old enough, and eventually becoming head brewer. We're very lucky here in the state of Florida to have one of the most vibrant craft beer scenes in the country, and we're going to bring it right to you. So come on the journey with us. Maybe you'll learn some things, and maybe you'll even have a laugh. And of course, it'll be even more fun if we have a few brews with us. The brews, the brewers, and the beer culture. This is Drinking with Wizard. Cheers to you. So here we are, like I told you, we're here at Zydeco Brewing in Ybor City. I'm here with the two owners. There's J. Paul, and then there's Paul. And then there's Jay behind the camera, and then I got Paul behind that. So there's a lot of Jays and a lot of Pauls going on. They're their owners, and
welcome.
So yeah, welcome to Zydeco. We're cheersing already. It's a good start. It's gonna be a good start to the show.
Exactly.
What's really interesting about this place is they both have a very interesting background in craft beers and beers in general. So I'll let them explain to you where they come from, and you're going to understand why this place is what it is right now. Start with you, J. Paul. Tell me a little bit tell everybody a little about yourself and how you got into this thing. Tell us about
Story short, I've been in the beer business a long time. My father started Pepin Distributing Company in 1960, Gainesville, Florida. Moved to Tampa in 1967. I've grown up just delivering beer, and I've been around and in and on beer since I was a kid. And I love it. There's not a better liquid on the planet.
Cheers to that.
Cold beer.
You got to cheers to that. That's amazing. I totally agree with that. Cheers to you.
It's brought a lot of people together. It's liquid bread, and you can live on this. The monks do. Not that I'm going to become a monk, but yeah, it's a beautiful beverage. And this gentleman right here, my partner, does a damn good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
So my background, I started home brewing at about 20 years old. Decided for some reason it's something I'd like to do for a living, even though I didn't know anyone that did it. Started working for a company called Iron Hill Brewery in the Philadelphia area where I'm from. Amazing company. I worked for them for 13 years. Opened 4 other locations. Learned from really talented, creative people, and until I met this guy, basically through a friend of mine. It was almost like a consulting thing. He said, hey, I got a guy here that wants to open a brew pub, and I had a good amount of experience in that. And what started as kind of a consulting relationship turned into a little bit more. So after some working some things out, ordering the brewery, I moved down here. We packed everything up, drove down from Philly, and then we started the process of building this place. I was here 14 months in construction, and we're about to be 5 years in March. And you know, I always say I can sum up why I love what I do in a couple words, and I get to make something that people enjoy.
That's fantastic. You're right.
I called him in January, like January 10th. It was the largest snowstorm in Philly's history. And I said, hey, Paulie, you want to think about coming down and doing a brewery? I'm shoveling snow today. What are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to the beach. So
I'll be down.
Yeah, he goes, all right, I'm coming.
The other things we haven't talked about, and it's kind of like the elephant in the room, is like, what the heck is up with all these barrels? You must be doing something barrel aged, I would think, with the amount of barrels we have here.
Yeah, this is a fun little kind of side project we have here in this room. You know, we did construct this room to age beer in different barrels. This side of the room is a bit empty. We generally have a lot of our bourbon and rum barrel aged cleaner beers, which are generally stronger, darker, maltier beers. Work really well with the character of the past spirit and the oak. Kind of just using it as another ingredient. The rest of this room, kind of behind us, is a variety of different kind of wild and Brettanomyces driven beers, and different varieties of white and red wine barrels. A few tequila over there tucked in the corner. And these are a bit more a work in progress. A lot of blending, fruit addition.
I did try I settled on the minivan, which by the way, we'll talk about in a minute, but that'd be a wizard's pick for the place. It's the Kolsch. It's amazing, clean, crisp Kolsch, just the way it's supposed to be. But I did take a slight little peek at the taste of the Brettanomyces.
Savage.
The Savage. That is a really good beer too. So that's got a nice amount of Brettanomyces. Sometimes they go too funky and they get too crazy. It's just right. It's a nice beer with just a touch of the Brettanomyces. So I think that's a great job.
If you're starting your brewery in your cellar, you got to be extremely careful.
Oh, for sure. That's why
with those guys, because they will sour everything.
That's why I was asking, because I saw one on there, and you guys are so pure and clean in most of your beers. So those two things should never mix. So you're using only barrels, and then how do you keep that infection kind of away from the rest of the beers?
I don't sleep at night. When he wheels a new batch in, I'm just going, oh God.
There we go.
Please don't blow up.
It's a work in progress. The Savage is a house beer, so always on, and the base beer is all stainless steel fermented, and then we take about half of it and age it here in barrels to give it some more complexity and age. You know, a lot of the stuff takes up to a year for it really to mature where I want it to, and I can't tie up a metal tank for that long.
So you just have to really clean the heck out of that.
Yeah, I mean, cleaning is about 80% of the physical work in there anyways.
Of course, anyway.
And I'm not cavalier about it, but I've become comfortable with a cleaning regimen.
Sometimes when breweries go to Brettanomyces and some of the other ones, Lactobacillus, kettle sour, that's simple and easy. That's what most people are doing. That's the easy Berliner Weisses and the Gozas you're drinking all over the place. To have Brettanomyces and some of the other ones, that's a more sophisticated level, and you really got to be careful with it. So when they're doing those things, these brewers know what they're doing when they're introducing that stuff and keeping everything else so clean. So cheers to that. I mean,
so far so good.
So far so good.
Knock on wood.
There's a lot here.
Oh
well, yeah. Okay, so Paul's going to show us something he's got in his fermenter. That's how many? Is it close? Is it almost done?
We got about 3 more weeks for this guy.
But it's probably you're conditioning it at this point to be total condition.
Correct.
So it actually is finished, but it's pretty much drinkable at this point. Correct? I would say.
Yes. So this beer is one of the 5 new beers we have coming out for Oktoberfest, which is the end of this month at August 27th. This is a new recipe. It's an Italian Pilsner. It's all German Pilsner malt and new Sapphire hops from a German hop farm. Really excited about this one. Just give it a taste.
It's looking light and refreshing. Looking like a Pilsner. I mean, at this point, you don't get any beer fresher than this. I mean, it's not carbonated yet, but I mean, it's right out of the fermenter. Oh, it's got a good nose. Wow. Man, this is good stuff.
Couple more weeks.
When's this going to be out?
August 27th.
August, you better get here fast. So this is going to be a release for your Oktoberfest festivities?
So this is the Vespa Italian Pilsner, and it'll be released August 27th for the beginning of our Oktoberfest party and pig roast.
It's awesome. Great name for it too. The Vespa. What the heck? That's so Italiano. It's fantastic. Cheers to that. Cheers to Oktoberfest. Cheers to you. Okay, Paul, so tell us a little bit about your brew process and your system that you have.
10-barrel system, pretty straightforward, pretty basic. You know, everything is brewed here, served here, we don't distribute, and everything is done currently just by me.
Right, and one of the cool things about your system versus some others is you actually use large serving vessels rather than kegging in the cooler, so you go right from serving vessel to tap.
A lot easier, you know, it's easier to clean one tank than it is 20 kegs.
And you came up with this idea based on all these breweries you opened?
I'm a pub brewer. I've always been one that served on premise, so you kind of want to design your system around that. So over here we have a double batch of our Prost, our Oktoberfest style Marzen beer.
Right.
Behind us is your favorite, another batch of the minivan.
Oh yeah. Wizard's pick. Thank God you're making more, because everybody's gonna come drink it because Wizard loves it.
Got to keep it flowing. This is the Vespa Italian Pils.
Loving that one.
We have the Barbara Baltic Porter, and then we have a smoked Helles over there, one of my favorites, El Fumato. About 50% smoked malt.
I don't think I've ever had a smoked Helles. I've had Helles, and I've had a rock beer, and I've had other smoked beers, but not a smoked Helles.
It's a rock Helles. It's nice to get that smoke character with the lighter beer.
What's the name of that one going to be?
El Fumato.
El Fumato. Cheers. Cheers to the brew process. Cheers to all the stuff you're doing here. It's amazing stuff. Cheers to you. So J. Paul, I noticed these amazing tables here, so there's got to be a story behind these tables.
There's a nice story behind these tables. My father and Gussie Bush were best friends, and when Mr. Bush gave our family the distributorship in Gainesville and then ultimately Tampa, his son Peter Bush and I grew up together, but he called me 5 years ago and he said, "Pep's your brewery open yet?" I said, "No, Mr. Bush, why?" He said, "I'm going to send you a present." Now I'm thinking of Budweiser Neon with Zydeco on it.
Great.
Where am I going to put that in here, bro? Well, these two slabs showed up, and I called him immediately. I said, "Pete, these are beautiful. Tell me about them." He said, "Well, I harvested a tree off my father's estate in St. Louis. It's called Grant's Farm because Ulysses S. Grant's cabin that he grew up in still stands there today, and the 650 acres that the Bush family owns is right down in downtown St. Louis. But as a boy, Ulysses' father used to make him plant sycamore trees on the back 40. And this is a 200-year-old sycamore tree planted by Ulysses S. Grant from Grant's Farm in St. Louis.
That's an amazing story.
So
Now,
about
where the
beer
heck do you ever
culture,
hear a story like that? That's
so-
amazing. That's definitely like
There's a lot going on with these tables.
Ulysses S. Grant planted a tree over 250 years ago, and it's sitting right here, right now.
It's sitting right here.
When you come and have a beer at Zydeco, you can sit here and put your beer right on this tree.
That's it.
That is an amazing story. Cheers. Cheers to you.
That's it. Cheers.
Okay, so we're out on the balcony up on the second floor. This is Ybor. This is what's cool about Ybor, isn't it? This is amazing. So one of the things we didn't actually even touch on is Zydeco. It's a great name. Is it because of buckwheat Zydeco?
No. I mean, I really like everything from New Orleans. I like the spices. I like the people. I like the music. But there's really nothing like Bourbon Street anywhere in the country with the wrought iron and the brick. It just looks like Bourbon Street to me.
For sure.
And back in the 80s, we had the best jazz and the best Creole food in town. Was right here in Ybor City. I just had to bring it back to Ybor. That's basically where Zydeco came from. Live entertainments on Thursday nights.
Okay.
We also do live entertainment on Sundays for our Sunday buffet. It's all just really cool music.
Awesome. Talking about festivities and things that are going on, we alluded to while we were in the brew house, the Oktoberfest coming up at the end of August, correct?
August 27th.
Off camera, you were talking about something like something about a giant pig being roasted.
We're gonna do the Spanish way to cook it is in a cajina box, which is a wooden box. We did it last year. I'll be cooking a 135-pound hog right over there, and
on this terrace,
right on this deck. We've got chefs we're doing our in-house sausages. We've got German food. Paul's got some amazing beers, and it's just going to be one hell of a weekend.
Right.
Ice luge, photo booth, have a good time. It's a party.
That's awesome. You got to be here for that for sure. And there's one thing we haven't talked about at all. Their food is amazing. Their beer is off the chart, but their food is amazing too. So you're not going to lose if you come here at all, anytime. I guarantee you, Oktoberfest is going to be amazing. If that's too much of a party for you, any single day, you're going to get great beer and great food at this place. I tell you that right now. But where is Zydeco for people that haven't been here yet?
If you haven't been here, you're missing out. But it's at 1902 7th Avenue Inc. down here in Ybor City. You can't read it. It's a big red brick building. It's right on the corner of 19th and 7th
right
Avenue.
on the corner. Right
Says
there.
this.
You guys.
Cheers. Zydeco Brew Works, Ybor City.
And then tell them Wizard sent you. Remember, always tell them Wizard sent you. Show me some love. Show Zydeco some love.
We'll charge you double.
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all things Drinking with Wizard. See you next time. Cheers.